Hi, everyone. Colleen here. We're going to be focusing on the best diet for alternate day fasting, how you should be eating, what you should be eating to get the best results to last through your fast days. So many times, what we eat on feast days is so overlooked because we have so much flexibility, because we have so much wiggle room, because we have such a large calorie deficit every week. The feast day isn't really focused on as much, and we put a lot of emphasis on getting through the fast days. I know when I started my fasting journey, I had a poor diet. But I was losing weight. I was losing weight so crazy, so easily, so effortlessly. All I had to do was make it through a day, and the next day I could literally eat what I want. And I did, but I didn't eat well. I remember I was eating a lot of chicken patties, frozen chicken patties. Why? They were convenient in the life I had at that time. I was a student. I was working, I was a mom, and I was trying to navigate my way in a relationship that I was trying to get out of. I just moved from Brooklyn. Like, frozen chicken patties were my life. What kind of nutritional benefits for frozen chicken patties giving me? I don't know. Thank God I'm alive. But it's time to focus on what are the best foods to eat on your feast day. And we're going to go through a list of notes that I have compiled together to make sure you don't lose out on nutrients. You prevent hair shedding, skin sagging, brittle nails, any kind of nutrient deficiencies, that you feel satisfied on your feast and fast days. And essentially don't harm yourself, because dizziness, fatigue, nausea, lightheadedness are common, and it can be prevented. You just have to know what to eat and even when to eat it on your feast days. We have an alternate day fasting group. If you're new here, there's a alternate day fasting Facebook group that are all on a journey to lose weight and feel great. The ideal diet for an alternate diet as in like what to eat, what kind, like how to eat more so, is a low carb diet. What's the difference with keto, low carb? So keto focuses on very low carbohydrates, a net carbohydrate total of 20 grams. Not even net, I don't think, actually. It's not even net. It's just like 20 grams. And all your carbohydrates should be coming from vegetables. That's keto. Keto is primarily high fat, moderate protein, very low carbs. In my opinion, low carb diet beats keto. Low carbohydrate allows you fruits. On keto, you cannot have fruits. You're not supposed to have fruit. Okay, if you're doing keto for real, you should be sticking to the 20 grams per day. For most people, unless you are really clocking what you eat, every morsel that goes into your mouth, you are more than likely going to go over that 20 gram threshold. And it's not to say that you're still not in ketogenesis, right? Which is the process. Keto is short for ketogenesis. And ketogenesis is the process of the body, instead of using glucose, stored glucose, which is then turned into glycogen, a form of energy for the body, okay? Because carbohydrates produce glucose, and glucose is then turned into glycogen, and we are fueled by glycogen primarily in a standard American diet. The ketogenic diet brings you into ketogenesis, which is the process of having more fats. The body eventually uses up its glucose, starts tapping into those fat stores, and runs on what is called ketones, fat energy. A lot of science, is basic. When you start understanding these principles, you start to respect fasting more. Instead of seeing it as starvation, you see it as, wow, my body is really smart. Let me allow it to do what it does. On low carb, you can have, I think, around 50 to 75 grams of carbohydrates. Heck, some people even have 100 or less grams of carbohydrates. The thing about low carb is it's pretty flexible. There is a cap because you don't want to have too high carbohydrates. That will defeat the purpose of really being able to tap into those fat stores faster and get into ketosis. You want to keep your carbohydrates as low as possible, but still having that room to play makes life bearable. I would love if you could give me any person that has been on keto for a long period of time. I would love to see, I want to see it. And even those people that have been on keto for a long time, is it still even keto? They're making keto muffins, they're having keto cookies, they're having keto brownies. Are you still technically keto then? You might as well just be low carb. Heck, call it Atkins. There's way more wiggle room with low carb. The lower you're able to keep your carbohydrates, the better results you'll get because you won't be storing up all this glucose, won't be fueling off glycogen. You'll be able to tap into those fat stores faster. All right. So compiled with fasting. Absolutely. Feel free to have a plant-based diet. I was plant-based for an entire year and then I got pregnant and I craved beef and eggs. Like, I was vegan for a year and then I got pregnant and I was having a tray of eggs like a day. I was an egg woman. Strange. I guess my body was really craving B12. Fruits. Fruits are allowed on a low carb diet, mainly berries, because berries are like the lowest sugar fruit. You could also have apples. Apples are a low sugar fruit. Grapefruits are allowed on low carbohydrate diets. Okay, so you have a little more wiggle room. Who wants to go into summer and know they can't have fruits? That's like sacrilegious. That's like against the law, if you ask me. Like, in what world is there a beautiful, bright, sunny day and I can't have a cup of mango with some tahini? Okay, some watermelon with some lemon juice. When you're on a low carb diet, you're able to be more long term. You're able to stick to it. You don't feel so caged. You don't feel so restricted. That's the word. You don't feel so restricted. It's more flexible. You're able to play around and have more options. Whereas with keto, you might have the same thing day in, day out. Bacon, eggs, and avocado for breakfast, and a salad for lunch, and steak and green beans. And you know the macros for this is perfect. So I'm going to repeat it and repeat it and repeat it and repeat it. At least with low carb, you're able to have a little more option. You're able to play around with things that maybe has sugar in it. You're able to satisfy your sweet tooth. And you're able to just be more long-term. You could even have a cookie. You could have half a cookie. You could have a bite of a cake. Like, you could enjoy your life and still beat sugar cravings and still be a part of your family's activities and go to social functions and lose weight and shave inches off your waistline and be a part of society. Like, it's not that it's impossible to do with keto, but it's very difficult to find fast food restaurants that can accommodate that diet. Having options when you go out, it's just, a lot more flexibility. You have more energy when you're on a low carb diet versus keto. Because you have a higher range of carbohydrates, the feeling of running on ketones is different. It's a lot more clarity. It's almost like a fog. It's really hard to explain. But having a bit more glucose to run off, because it's our primary fuel source, it feels familiar. It doesn't feel strange. You don't feel almost like a sense of slow motion. Running on ketones purely feels weird. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I've been in ketosis before, and it's an odd feeling. You have absolutely no appetite. Like the thought of food is weird. You have this sweet metallic taste in your mouth. It's a really weird place. Not to say that it's bad to get into ketosis, but your body is like, its primary fuel source is glucose. We're meant to have a little bit in there because it functions the best, but for weight loss purposes, ketones, yes, you want to get into ketosis to burn up that fat, and there's nothing wrong with that. But staying in ketosis for a very long time, it's not the best feeling. So having that extra energy from a low carb diet and a higher carbohydrate grams, it's a good feeling. You get to play around a lot more and you have more energy. You have more satiety, more satisfaction because you have a lot more options. You're able to eat a little bit more and have more well-rounded meals, and you're still able to obtain your goals while on a low carb diet because on your fast days, you're able to get into ketosis, autophagy, all these awesome benefits without having to give up food you love. I, I can't think of a better diet to accompany alternate day fasting. So let's talk about the benefits of going low carb. Of course, weight loss. Low carb diets are effective for weight loss and they help reduce your appetite and decrease calorie intake, okay? When you're able to have higher protein meals, you're of course going to lower calories because here's the thing. Each gram of macronutrients, carbohydrates, fats, and proteins, they all have a different calorie per gram, which makes a high carbohydrate diet a calorie-laden diet. The more carbohydrates you have in your diet, the more high calorie it's just going to be based on math. If you're focusing primarily on proteins and fats, you're going to have a lower calorie diet, point blank period. And when you are able to lower your carbohydrates, you reduce your appetite due to blood sugar stabilization. And when you're getting into ketosis, the thing that happens is just like your appetite reduces because of that leveled out blood sugar. It is so weird. I remember doing keto one summer, the summer before I had my second son. I'm always on some crazy diet before my kids come. What's that about? I swear keto got me pregnant because I feel like it did something to my hormones and got me out of whack. I swear keto got me pregnant, but I have no proof, but I was fine. And then I did keto, and I know low carbohydrate, like really low carbohydrate diets and even fasting can like tweak your hormones. Child, I got pregnant. So if you're having fertility issues, go ahead. Go ahead. I wasn't having them, but I know that anyways. Being in ketosis is a really weird feeling. I remember being on a job one day and I was having like butter in my coffee. I just had no appetite. People were eating lunch and it's been hours. I've been, working and I'm like, I don't want to eat. And I felt so in control of my appetite. And it's amazing feeling. It's an amazing feeling. If you get into ketosis, you know the feeling of just being fine, especially the day after you wake up after a fast and you think you're going to eat down the house and it's just not so. You're honestly kind of keep fasting. You kind of have to make yourself eat the next day. That's ketosis. That feeling of making yourself want to eat, that's ketosis. And then you have to just go ahead and eat. Number 2 is improved blood sugar. Low carb diets help improve your blood sugar and insulin sensitivity, okay? Making them a useful dietary approach for people with diabetes or pre-diabetes. So if you are having issues with your blood sugar and you are having insulin resistance, it's time to start looking into low carbohydrate diets. What they're going to do is as I said, they stabilize your insulin. They stabilize your blood sugar. It keeps spikes from your insulin steady. And those spikes are usually what causes diabetes. When you're able to just stabilize blood sugar, the insulin doesn't have to be made as much. It's not in overdrive. Feel free to Google these things. I'm not a doctor. I'm no medical professional. I'm just a girl that likes to read and listen to stuff. But if you feel like your A1C is off the charts, your blood sugar is concerning, if you have diabetes that runs in your family, if you've ever had gestational diabetes, which is pretty much pre-diabetes, you should be looking into low carbohydrate diet. Point blank period. Point blank period. If you're looking to save yourself, please do that. Do that for yourself, because chronic illness, chronic disease is no fun. And the prevention is always better than the cure, always. You lower your risk of heart disease. Studies suggest that low carb diets helps lower triglycerides and LDL cholesterol. LDL, I remember my doctor saying, HDL is the healthy and LDL is a loser. Okay. So that's how I always remember LDL is the bad cholesterol that you don't want to be high. So if you're looking, if heart disease runs in your family, I say as I sip wine. Wine is good for the heart. What are you talking about? Any of those kind of heart diseases running in your family, low carbohydrate diets. Better mental clarity. Some people report improved mental clarity and cognitive function when following a low carb diet. Now I go back to saying about how I felt when I was in ketosis on keto. The focus is wild. It feels like a fog because it's so super clear, but you can also achieve that on fast days, that clarity when you're able to be really productive without the fog from food. In the Black community, we call it the itis. When you have a lot of food at one time, like say you just dig into Thanksgiving dinner, and then this wave of like tiredness comes over you when you eat your last bite and you go pass out in front of the football game. That is because your body is just now flush, like flooded with this overpouring of attack to the blood sugar, and it just makes you fatigued. So when you don't have anything affecting your blood sugar, there's just this crystal clear focus. So if you're looking to get anything done, you have chores, you have an essay, you have a project, you need to do your taxes. Number 5, it reduces inflammation. I know this. Low carb diets help reduce inflammation in the body, which is linked to a variety of health problems, autoimmune issues, joint swelling. I remember when I started ADF, I had swelling in my right knee and my right ankle, and it was this weird puffy inflammation. When I lost around 20 pounds, it went away, and now I don't even know who that was. My inflammation is gone. My inflammation is gone. Hallelujah. So if you have any kind of inflammation, and that includes joint pain, that includes swelling of any joint areas, that includes autoimmune issues, those are all inflammatory problems, fasting and low carb, do your best. It increases energy. Many people report increased energy levels when following a low carb diet, as the body becomes more efficient at burning fat for fuel. So when we're burning fat for fuel, it enjoys that. As I said, the primary fuel source is glucose. But then the second one is fat, and it becomes very efficient. So when it's locked into fat burning mode, your body, I told you, the body is super smart. It starts to become accustomed to this new fuel source, and it becomes just as efficient, and you'll run like a well-oiled machine. 7, it improves digestive health. Some people with digestive issues, such as IBS, which is irritable bowel syndrome, may find relief following a low-carb diet. The benefit of low-carb diets is that you do ingest a lot more vegetables, and vegetables have fiber. And fiber, they preach about fiber because it gets the bowels moving. It cleanses that colon out. One thing Americans aren't doing is getting enough fiber. And even worse is that they're not drinking enough water to benefit from any kind of fiber supplements or increase in nutritional fiber. So they'll have a bowl of oatmeal, they'll have Metamucil, but they won't even have enough water to get the process going. So that's always a good idea, is to have more vegetables, way more vegetables than anything in your diet, because it helps get everything moving. And number 8, better skin health. I can preach to this. A low carb diet helps to improve skin health by reducing inflammation and promoting production of collagen. I'm a collagen queen. I swear up and down by collagen, not because it's like some magic beauty product, but because it helps increase hydration. And that's where the glow comes from with collagen. It's also made of amino acids, which are building blocks of protein. And when you're able to increase amino acids, you're able to get better hair growth and nails and skin. Okay, so if it's going to reduce inflammation, the body is able to do other things such as repair itself. And fasting, if you have good, clean, pure fasting, you're able to achieve autophagy. And autophagy is the process of the cells being able to repair itself, being able to work on other things other than digesting, excreting, extracting. The body is tired. Let it do something else, like repair blood cells and work on your lungs. The body, I will never get over how amazing the body is. The body can do it all. The body will do it all, but we don't give it a chance. Okay. So let's talk about some meal ideas. Here's some meal ideas for low carbohydrate diets. Okay. Breakfast. Remember, okay, we don't have to eat steak and eggs all day, but here's some meal ideas for breakfast. Oatmeal, right? A bowl of oatmeal, especially when you're starting off the day on your feast day, a bowl of oatmeal will do you good. Once again, it's chock full of fiber. And I have oatmeal that's infused with flax seeds, sprinkle some chia seeds on, full of fiber, with peanut butter. If you've never had oatmeal with peanut butter, what are you doing with your life? What are you doing? It's so good, especially chunky peanut butter. And berries, sprinkle some berries. When I tell you, that has been one of my favorite breakfasts. And because you're eating it earlier in the day, you're able to burn off those higher carbohydrates. So if you are going to have your carbs, eat them earlier in the day when you're able to go to the gym still, go for a walk, you're moving around, and you're able to burn it off. Another meal idea for breakfast: bacon, eggs, and avocado. Now this one I had to really include, because bacon, eggs, and avocado is like the quintessential low carb breakfast. When you have bacon, eggs, and avocado for breakfast, you are full for hours. When I say full, I mean you not even full, like satisfied for hours. You are satisfied. That's the perfect word. You need to understand the satisfaction. The satiety level of bacon, eggs, and avocado is unmatched. Why? It's straight protein and fat. If you wake up on your feast day after a 36-hour fast and you have bacon, eggs, and avocado, this is for the meat eaters. I apologize for the vegan. Oh, well, you have oatmeal. Oatmeal is your option for the vegans. And you have bacon, eggs, and avocado. You are amazing. You're in fat burning mode, because essentially, although you've broken your fast, listen to this. Although you've broken your fast with a meal, that's why it's called breakfast, you will remain in ketosis. When you did your fast, your body goes into ketosis around the 18 to 20 hour mark. It really depends on how much glucose storage you have. But when you break your fast with something as low carbohydrate as bacon, eggs, and avocado, you're fat burning machine. There's no carbohydrates in that meal and you are satisfied. Have that with some coffee and listen. All right, so let me move on. Lunch. The easiest thing to do, especially as the weather is getting warmer: salads. Help yourself to a salad. I love salads. Why? As a single woman, they're so easy to make. I buy bagged salads and keep it simple. I keep it super simple. I love the Caesar salads that come in the bag, and I add a protein source. You could add rotisserie chicken. My go-to has been canned salmon. I mainly eat a lot of fish. I'm mainly a fish eater because fish is full of omegas, omega-3s, and omega-6. And they're really good for your skin and your heart health. Omegas are really good for you. I eat things such as sardines, mackerel, salmon, tuna. Yes, I'm aware of the mercury levels of fish, but that is my main source of protein. But I will have chicken and I will have beef here and there. Is it my primary source? No. I'm also wary of shrimp. Shrimp is good, but it is high cholesterol and I have cholesterol sensitivity. So beware of that. If you are cholesterol sensitive, beware of shrimp. Beware of mollusks overall. Shelled seafood usually is high cholesterol, okay? Or have lettuce wraps. Lettuce wraps are basically like a taco where you use a lettuce leaf as a shell. So you can make ground beef lettuce wraps. You can make chicken lettuce wraps, fried fish lettuce wraps. They're really good. It's really good. Play around with lunch and do your best to keep it low carb. But things like that, you could add like a bean salad next to it. That's why I love low carbs, because you could add things like croutons and some kidney beans, a little excess sweet peppers and corn, carrots, which usually those things aren't really allowed on keto because of the sweet factor. It'll bring you over your 20 grams of carbohydrates. But when you're low carb, you're able to play around with more toppings. Have fun. Like, life is meant to be lived. Dinner, for some reason, like, meat for dinner just makes me really satisfied. But here's the thing. Dinner is your most important meal when you're alternate day fasting. Ideally, here's what dinner should consist of. It should be high protein, high fat, low carb. Play with your carbs in your breakfast and lunch. Don't play with your carbs at dinner time. Play with your carbs for breakfast or lunch. Do not play with carbs for dinner, because if you're looking to have a successful fast day the next day, setting yourself up for a successful fast day starts with a successful feast night. What you eat at dinner on your feast night is going to determine how you're going to feel and get through your fast day. If you are looking to have a very easy fast day, have this for dinner. High fat, high protein, low carb. Low. I mean vegetable, spinach. You don't want to have anything like potatoes for dinner. No rice for dinner. No pasta for dinner. Don't do it to yourself. Do not do it to yourself. Why, Colleen? Because these are insulin spiking foods. And when you wake up in the morning, your body will still be reactive to what you had for dinner. It's just, think of it like this. If you wake up, because how you start your day is usually how you finish it. Say you wake up, you have a bowl of cereal. A bowl of cereal is this very subpar breakfast. Why? Because by the time you finish eating it, an hour later, you are hungry. What are you going to crave more of? Carbohydrates. You're going to crave more chips. You're going to crave the candy bar. Somebody's going to bring in a donut. You're going to want that. You're going to go to the vending machine. You're going to want to run to McDonald's. And then it's over for you. It's over for you. I have vegan sausages. I cut them up in a pan, saute it with mushrooms, eggplant, and broccoli. Steak strips. Beef for dinner is so satisfying. Have it with cauliflower rice. Walmart sells frozen cauliflower rice for $2.19. Way cheaper than Green Giant. With a dab of guacamole. That is your fat source. If you are cooking, cook with high fat butter, olive oil, ghee, high fat items. That satisfies you, because you know what? Fat is satisfying. I don't really trust non-fat, low-fat. Give me my fat. When I look for yogurt, I look for whole yogurt, full-fat yogurt. Why? Because the things that they take out to reduce the fat, they add in nonsense. I'd rather the full fat than the chemical nonsense any day. And it also has more fat, more protein, more satiety. You're more satisfied. So please don't forget, you're going to set yourself up for success on your fast day with a high quality, high fat, high protein, low to no carb meal for dinner. If anything, don't forget that. Here's 3 snack ideas. Avocado toast with high protein bread. Yeah, you could have bread on a low carb diet. It's not sacrilegious, okay? Get a bread that is hearty. Wheat flavored bread. No. I want all the grains, the seeds. I want to be chewing on like sprouted oats, okay? I need bread. And then you take a nice half of avocado and you smash it up. Add in your everything but the bagel seasoning. And then I added like a slice of tomato. When I tell you, y'all, don't mess around with the avocado toast. If you don't like avocados, that's so unfortunate because avocados. But if you like peanut butter, you can also do the same thing and have a peanut butter on toast. If you're gonna have any meal, it needs to include protein. If you have any meal, your meal should have protein. This counterbalances how fast the carbohydrates are processed in your body. You could have an apple and it'll just run right through you and you'll be hungry again within half an hour. Pair the apple with peanut butter, slows down the breakdown process, slows it right down. This is called food science, people. Look more into it online, but don't cheat yourself by having carbohydrates alone. It'll run through you like water. So peanut butter and apples is another one. I added that. And another fave of mine, which is gonna be my last snack, is whole fat Greek yogurt with berries. That's a fave of mine lately, is sprinkling some granola with whole fat Greek yogurt, because it's full of protein. You want to get that protein in, some yummy berries and some granola for crunch. You're doing the damn thing. You're doing the damn thing. All right. So those are my meal ideas. Eating on a low carb diet with alternate day fasting. Listen, don't cheat yourself out of what could be really simple. Don't deny yourself nutrients. If you are on supplements and vitamins, take your supplements and vitamins, okay? It's not that serious. Just take them. If you are on medication while fasting, please consult your doctor. My favorite supplements that I should have included. I swear by a protein supplement because I find that I never get enough protein. Vital Proteins collagen. I take a vitamin D3 K2 drop tincture. Liquid hair vitamins. That's kind of like my vitamin of choice right now. When you have liquid vitamins, they 100% absorbed into the body. There's no 30% like tablets. Capsules and liquids are your best bet when it comes to vitamins. Do your best to stay away from tablets. If you do take tablets, crush it up. Crush it up, whether the mortar and pestle or 2 spoons and press it down together. I have a video on that. I made a short about that, and crush them so they could absorb into the body. Because when you take a big old horse tablet, you're gonna need a good stomach acidity, which most of us don't have. We have poor stomach acidity, and that's why so many of us have digestive issues because our food is just not being broken down due to low stomach acid. So if you swallow a condensed pill, what do you think it's going to do inside of your stomach? It's going to chill there, and you're lucky if you absorb 30% of it. Capsules and liquid vitamins for the win. And that's about it. Thank you again for being here. I appreciate you so much. I really do. Bye.